I'm Jim Steinbrecher, and this is my taste of eternity. We're starting off with the first course. This is Pizza Hut's chicken sausage pizza that is cut tavern style or Chicago style. Next is going to be from Olive Garden, the chicken Alfredo, and that is going to be amazing chicken Alfredo today. And we're going to cap that off with the sweet treat, once again, from Pizza Hut, but it's the Cinnabon.
Hello, I'm Riley.
And I'm Logan.
And today we're here with Coach Steinbrecher, film teacher, movie enthusiast, and DJ master.
Yeah.
Woo.
All right, so how are you doing today, Mr. Steinbrecher?
I'm doing wonderfully.
That's great to hear.
Yeah,
So,
this delicious food in front of us, so this is going to
Yeah.
be awesome.
Pizza Hut, Chicago Tavern, chicken sausage pizza. I got a little something stuck in my throat right there, but that's fine. That's all right. So, yeah. So, what made you want like a pizza for your last meal?
Well, that's an interesting question, Logan. It actually is based in a true story. I had heart surgery in 2008, and my last big meal was going to the Pizza Hut buffet as it existed in 2008. So, and I mean, if things had gone wrong, it could have been my last meal. So there you go.
Wow,
That's some real stuff for you.
And I heard that some locations of pizza are opening up that buffet back.
Yes, I have heard that. So looking forward to not doing that whole thing, the surgery.
Just
thing,
the buffet part.
But just the buffet
Yeah.
part, yeah, exactly.
I really like the irony of how it plays into your life story. Like,
Yeah, see?
So, what age did you realize film was your passion?
I think not realizing it at the time, but looking back, I think middle school, because I ended up, that's when I first started watching some of the movies with my dad and spending time staying up late. Mom had gone to bed and seeing, the late night movie type of thing, and then even spoofs of those films. And really thinking about it and not thinking about it fully through until saying these words right now. But it was discovering Mad Magazine, because my dad bought Mad magazines back in the 60s and 70s, and they always had movie parodies. So oftentimes I would read the parody and then see the movie, sometimes not until more recent times. So I think that was part of it too.
So, what is something that you see in the movie, like in movies today and in the past, that you think should be changed nowadays?
Gotcha. I think we're definitely seeing ethical treatment of animals and things. You look back at some of the movies that I show, some of the Westerns, and you go, ooh, wow, that probably hurt that horse, and those types of things. And then I think as we enter into the AI area, I think they definitely have to put guardrails on things, not necessarily just to protect people's jobs, because there have been brand new things all the time in film and in all sorts of other industries, and things go and some jobs go away naturally, and then people retrain and find either a new job in that same industry or a new industry to work in. But still, that they need to do some things to say, okay, here's what we're not going to do. Here's how we can all help each other and develop this even more so.
All right. And what's like a hot take you would say, like a movie that's really popular that like everyone seems to like and thinks like is a really good, well like written movie that you just personally don't like? Or like the vice versa, one that's people don't really like but you really like.
Okay, well, that happens a lot in class. So
There's a few of those.
but yes, just a few.
Yeah.
Let me think though on the first version of that question. Something that I don't like that a lot of other people. It's not that I don't, but I haven't invested the time in some of the series types of things of, I can't say honestly that I've watched all 8 of the Harry Potter movies. Would I love to? sure. But I know that that's going to take up a lot of time in my life. And at the age of 56, I start to go, all right, let me weigh my options here and do some of those things. So as that naturally happens with watching it with my kids, sounds good. But am I going to sit down and, spend 2 hours, 2.5 hours watching and, okay, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to pause, go back, rewatch some things, look up some stuff as I'm watching, and that 2-hour movie becomes a 3 or 4 hour movie.
This is our second course. We have the Olive Garden chicken Alfredo with some breadsticks, of course. So, what made you want chicken Alfredo for like a last meal? Is there anything else like a pizza where it would be like it almost killed you?
Yeah, no, nothing outstanding about that. It pairs well with the pizza.
If you had an unlimited budget and you could collaborate with any film director in history, whether they're dead now or alive now, or whether they existed or not, who would it be and what kind of movie would you make?
Got it. So Howard Hawks is one of my favorite directors because he did a little bit of everything, from westerns to gangster films to action comedy type of stuff to one of my favorite films of all time, The Big Sleep with Bogart and Bacall. So some just great director. And the concept of my movie is going to be Love Always. So Love Always takes place, you start off with a little kid and he's writing a note, do you love me? And check yes or no kind of thing. And then that then transforms to modern day, and you're at a church, and the preacher is saying, some of the archaic language, pretty much not used nowadays, but if anyone here present objects to the union of this couple, and you have this man get up with this wrinkled looking old note with a crayon checked yes, of course, in the back, and maybe you've seen it already or whatever, but he stands up and says, "She loves me," and that kind of thing, and so comedy ensues from there.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's what
I've got.
That sounds like a great movie.
See?
I know. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
expected
I think
like a
we just-
romance comedy movie from you. I would have expected more like a thriller. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it could be. It could still be a thriller.
Yeah.
I
It'd
mean,
be
who
like
knows?
comedy
Yeah.
disguised as a thriller.
Yes, comedy is yes. It could be like Hitchcock's The 39 Steps. So look that one up. That's one that we need to watch in class. So, all right.
So with excessive film knowledge, does that diminish any of the magic in the cinema world?
Gotcha. At times, possibly, like I said, it makes me sometimes take a little bit longer, and hey, you got to still suspend that suspension of disbelief kind of thing, because okay, I know how they do this and that type of thing. But I think overall it enhances more than diminishes. So for sure.
Yeah, I think because, like with me being in your class and you showing movies, like every time now I watch a movie, I'd see like the key details that you point out now. So it's like, how like the symbolism here means this, the product placement this and that, all these other like features that you always point out, like when you pause the movie. Every time, like when I go to a movie theater or I'm watching at home, in my mind I'll just be like, there's it right there. So, with being a film teacher, what would you say is like the best part of it, and what would be the most challenging part?
Okay. I think the best part, the most rewarding part is watching people discover something. And sometimes it may take a day or two, but then we get to that point in the movie and I go, okay, now they're hooked. And seeing that, so watching other people have that reaction is a whole lot of fun, especially with movies like Psycho and some of those classics and stuff. And then most challenging is kind of related to that is keeping people interested with those slower, older movies, because sometimes it took a while to get to, hey, the narrative hook or whatever, at least for a teenager nowadays, watching and listening to something that maybe audiences 50 years ago would have been, because they understood a little bit more of the backstory, but still, keeping people awake. Because I get it, especially if a film class is first period or last period of the day or after lunch, or that you're going, hey, come on in, let me put on a black and white film that you know not much about, and I'm going to turn the lights off. And
Or even a silent one,
yes, yeah. So there you go. That would be the most challenging.
So this is our third and final meal. We got a little dessert here. We got the Cinnabon mini rolls from Pizza Hut. They're pretty good. They look pretty good. And, we got a bunch of icing on it. And let's go ahead and get started into it.
So, what inspired you to pursue DJing alongside your film career?
So I think that goes back to starting to DJ in college days, different parties on campus and slightly off campus. So we started doing that and realized, hey, this is kind of fun, and people love it if you're playing the right music and this, that, and the other. Then worked at a radio station, met this guy that owned a mobile DJ business, and started working for him, setting up the stuff. And so from him, I learned how to do weddings, and so that was fun. And realizing that these two careers can, hey, this is gonna work really well because former students are gonna get married, and maybe I can DJ some of their weddings, and so that's when it started to get going.
Yeah.
So there it is.
And do you think that you have kind of a music interest kind of reflects it into movies, you appreciating the background music?
Yeah, definitely, especially with certain films that we, of course, study in class, and trying to make sure people realize, hey, somebody has created everything that you're not just seeing, but that you're hearing, and there's a reason for the timing of this, or the placement of this song is right here, right now, Rear Window, that we watch in class. And
That one musical that we watched, I forgot the name, La La Land.
La
that
La
one.
Land.
That one was good. Students, past students, future students, or even current students who would like to pursue a film career, maybe even be a film teacher themselves, or even a film director or actor.
Yeah, there is so much when I think back to when Coach Kaiser and I first started this program, and how expensive it was for somebody to go and do this, because not just the training, but buying equipment and but now everything that was thousands and thousands of dollars obviously is in the palm of your hand, and that you can start creating stuff, but it still all starts off with a great idea. And that if you don't have a great idea, then okay, you can have all the film skills in the world, but nobody cares about your story or about your characters. Yeah. So I would say read, expose yourself to other films, genres, and films from other countries that you might think, oh man, I've got this great idea, and you go, oh, wait, somebody in Japan did this back in '67 or whatever. So I would definitely explore outside of just scrolling and, hey, look at this, and this guy did this for 10 seconds or whatever. So if you really want to make a living out of it, also looking at, hey, commercial making and all the things. So there are ways to make a really good living inside and slightly outside of film, and making sure that they fully explore all those avenues.
I'll go ahead and conclude this episode of Taste of Eternity. Thank you guys for tuning in, and be sure to tune in next month, and thank you, Steinbrecher, for showing up.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Thank y'all.
guys.
Thanks for inviting me. Great meal.